Hello, this is Manish Patel from the EII Capital Group. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the currency market. Today is November 29th. We've had a while since we've done these videos. It's due to I was pretty much spending some time with my newborn. So we pretty much have taken off for a little while, but we will start now from this point on, start doing our weekly Ichimoku videos on all the markets from currencies to futures to stocks. So we are going to gear that up now. Pretty much just spent 2 months with my daughter, so I'm ready to move forward. Anyways, let's begin. This is our normal disclaimer as usual. This is for educational use only. All charts that we're going to use are either from Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or freestockcharts.com. Here are my contact details. You can learn more about Ichimoku trading from our website, ichimokutrade.com. You do have to register for free and then go to the education section. You can access all our free videos there, or you can follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading. Okay, so let's begin. Excuse me. And remember, on the left-hand side is basically a daily chart. On the right-hand side is our weekly chart. Okay, so let's begin with the EURUSD. As you guys have been seeing, there's been a lot of turmoil out there in the markets in EURUSD. Let me delete these lines. And if you look at the weekly chart right now, and just shrink this down, you could see that it's doing nothing. It's just consolidating. We're actually got to the bottom of our range here, and our top of the range, believe it or not, is somewhere right around here. It's a big wide range, but we basically been making lower highs here, and we kind of bounced out here over here where we bounced off the support levels there. So really we haven't been doing anything for weeks now, for months, in regards to the EURUSD, where we were just ranging between a huge range. It's about 1400 pip range. So right now we do have ability to sit there, and if we do break down and we break down below 1.3000, this thing does have a chance of starting a weekly trend to the downside, which can get a little ugly for the EURUSD. If it does do that, then it's going to have ability to go all the way down to 1.22700. So, you know, if it breaks the 3,000 level, it's going to go all the way to 2,700, another 300 pip drop. If you look at the daily time frame, you could see that it's right in a trend going to the downside. Resistance levels are basically, short term is going to be 34.12, but the major resistance level for the EURUSD is 37.29. Okay, and then support, I think we talked about the support basically is here, which is 31.28. Okay, so that's the EURUSD. Let's go look at US yen. A lot of famous one for a lot of people. Okay, let's zoom in on this on the weekly chart. You can see on the weekly chart, basically on the US yen, on the weekly, it's just been consolidating back and forth here. It really still hasn't made a move to do anything at all. The resistance level that you see on the weekly is basically going to be around 79.50. Support level you're looking at is about 75.50 as far as the weekly is concerned. If you look at daily over here, you can see where basically the government intervened. Really didn't do anything. Just skyrocketed up and then retrace back. Pretty much every time the government intervenes, it does the same thing over and over. You could see that over here. So it's almost like a strategy a lot of people are doing now, where whenever the government intervenes, it gets a little skyrocketing up, and then a lot of people are basically shorting it at that point and betting on it going down. So it never stays up here at all. So if you look at the technical charts, this is really messed up right now. And the reason why is this big bar here, this gap bar when the government intervened, is interfering with all the calculations. So if you look at this, we basically are doing nothing at all, and you can see that we're ranging inside this big bar here, and until we come out of there, no trends are really going to start at all for the US yen. Let's go look at pound USD. If you look at pound USD, let's do this. Pound USD, if you look at on the weekly time frame, it's basically been in the cloud last week. This bar is still active, so nothing at all. We closed below the cloud, so sentiment's now changed, being bearish. This thing, if it starts breaking down below this level here, around about 5,300, we do have a possibility of starting a trend to the downside. So watch for that very closely. And if you look over here on the daily, you got a little downward movement here. We pulled back now. We got to a minor resistance level of 56.55. Major resistance level is going to be at 57.94. But if this thing starts moving downwards, this thing's going to retest this low here and then has a possibility of going lower. So I definitely would be thinking of pound USD in the next couple of weeks to go start going looking for shorting opportunities in regards to this. If it sits there and starts breaking down, but you got to see it breaking down before you can start moving into that. USCAD. If you look at USCAD on the weekly time frame, it is started a bullish sentiment here, went up here, it came here. It's really got to make a move and break 1.600, 600. If it does, then it's going to start a trend to the upside, very, very big. If it doesn't, then this is going to be a double top as most people view it and break down. If you look at the support levels, minor support levels are basically going to be 206. Major one's going to be 31, and the resistance level, as we talked about, is going to be basically 600 as a resistance level for short term and long term. So, you know, it's got to break that 600 level with vengeance. If it does, then this thing's going to start trending. If it doesn't, this thing's just going to consolidate until it does break that level. Let's see, what else can we look at? Australian USD. If you look at Australian USD, it's really doing nothing. It's in the cloud on the weekly, so we're just consolidating. If you look over here on the daily, it does look like a bearish trend right here and a pullback here, but time's going to tell. The support level here is going to be 9,600, and the resistance level, believe it or not, is going to be 207. So it's got to look at those two things to break it in order to sit there and start trending one way or another. New Zealand USD. Same thing as Australia, but if you look over here, if it starts breaking down below the cloud, it does have ability to start a trend to the downside. So if you look at the resistance support levels on this, you're basically looking at 72.50 as a support level. Resistance level, you're looking at 78.05 as a resistance level there. Let's look at Australia, New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand on a weekly, it's in the cloud, so nothing really going on there. If you look at the daily time frame, you can see that this thing's been trending. It's a little top heavy now where it's being overbought, so it's kind of consolidating here. It's really got to break 3,300 to basically continue the trend to the top side, and the resistance level, support level is going to be 30.54 as the support level for that one. Let's go look at EURUSD. EURUSD, you could see from the weekly, this is doing nothing except consolidating on, and it's just in the pattern. If you look at the dailies now looks like it's sitting there consolidating here, but does look like it has ability to break down lower. So I definitely would start looking at this below 3,700 as a major support area, and the resistance area is going to be basically 39.42, but this thing is consolidating, so be very careful in those support resistances that you see there. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, excuse me, I think we've covered almost everything. Euro yen, if you look at it on the weekly time frame, if this thing could sit there and break 101.33, this thing is going to start a trend on both the daily and weekly, so look for that completely there. Resistance level is going to be at 107.02. Let's see, what else have we covered? I think we've covered all the major indices out there. If not, we'll cover them next week. But we've covered everything. It's a great start moving forward again. If you have any questions, please email me. My contact details are here at the very bottom, right here. So here's my contact details. You can email me here, mpatel@eiicapital.com or info@eiicapital.com. See you next week. I hope you have a good week. If you have any currency pairs you want me to look at and analyze, let me know.